Today we're going to be talking all about how a fish tricked me into buying it. Yep, you heard me right. So with that said, let's get straight into the video. Alright, now this tank right here is my 90-liter aquarium. This was my first ever aquarium, and this is like the main display tank in the house. It's heavily planted, it's quite pleasant to look at in my opinion. That does mean we do want some really nice displayable fish. Now one of them I did pick up a couple years ago, and it's still living in this tank. That is the Laetacara araguaiae. It is a handful of a name. I'll put it on the screen so you can search it up if you want. This fish is beautiful. It's got like a dark gray body with a bunch of little specks of coloration, like dots of yellow and blue, and it's got some neon coloration near its gills as well. Striking yellow eyes as well. So yeah, it's a beautiful fish. It definitely works well as a centerpiece in this tank. I've got one in here and it's called Bomba Boy. Bomba Boy is a very rare dwarf cichlid. Since I've bought it, I've still never heard of anyone keeping it. Yeah, it's very elusive, but if you get lucky, you come across one, this is what you can expect. The story about it deceiving me, let me explain. When I picked it at the fish store, it was in a tank that had a sand bottom and a black background, and it really stuck out because this body's main coloration was like a creamy white, and it just stuck out really well. It looked beautiful, so I thought, hey, that's gonna be great in the 90-liter tank because it's got dark substrate, dark background, it will really stand out. I bought it, added it to my 90-liter aquarium. When I got up the next morning and checked on it, I could not find it, and then I found suddenly this gray dark fish. I was like, when did I add that? And I could not recall adding it. I was like really confused what was happening, and I realized it is the same fish. It looked really different, and it was only a matter of 12 hours when it changed coloration. Now there's a couple of reasons why I think it did change color, and a lot of other fish can change color. First reason is that it could have been stressed at the fish store, so it showed like a more washed out coloration, and that can lead to more white. And as it adjusted into the tank and got settled, it changed color. Another reason is that it changed its color due to its environment. Now, fish in the wild will change color depending on the darkness or the lightness of the area of the creek they're in, just so that, you know, they can camouflage and avoid being predated on. Clearly, because this tank has a lot more shadows and it's got a darker substrate and a dark background, it turned into this much darker blue coloration. If I did have white sand in here, then I think it would have a much lighter, creamier white coloration on it. And the other reason can be that it was maybe a juvenile in the aquarium, and when I added it into the tank, as it gets older, it does get darker in coloration. That cannot be this case though, because it was a matter of 12 hours. That takes like months for a fish to change color like that. This was overnight. So yeah, can't be that, has to be one of the other reasons. I think it's the environment, that's got to be the reason. Now if this fish does fancy you and you do want to go buy it, if you can find it that is, then by all means. And now I'm going to explain a bit about it and how to care for it from what I've learned over keeping it for the last few years. First off, it does get around 8 to 10 centimeters in size. Mine is around 8, I think, which is, you know, it's a pretty good size, and it does mean that they do need a larger tank, especially if you're going to have more than one. This tank is 25 gallons. I would not go any smaller than that, preferably 30 gallons. I reckon that's the golden rule if you want to get a pair or maybe a trio. Now this fish, surprisingly, is very peaceful. Like, I haven't seen it bother any other fish. Because it's on its own, it doesn't have like a mate to protect or anything, and any babies, so, you know, it's got no reason to attack other fish. It's found its own little territory that no other fish goes back. He doesn't want business with any other fish. You know, he's a lone wolf, so we got to respect that. Now, I feed this fish flakes pretty much every other day. Like, I'll give it its own little clump of flakes that will sink down, and it will just shred it. It will go into it, shake around, and then just, you know, peck at it, basically. It's really fun to watch. Then also every like week or two, I do treat it to some blackworms, live blackworms. Frozen bloodworms will work really well as well. Frozen brine shrimp, whatever you got available, whatever you can. Try to keep its diet a bit varied like that. You know, give it a treat every now and then just to keep its life interesting, you know. Males will have more elongated fins compared to females. You will find that the males are a bit more colorful than the females. You've got to have a male and a female side by side to be able to tell. It is kind of hard to tell, especially at the fish store. So what I recommend doing is getting a group if you want to breed them. I'd say at least 3, probably 4 or more in a nice large tank, at least like 30, 35 gallons. Feed them every day, feed them lots of live food if you can. Get them all chunkied up. Once they grow a bit and reach around 7 centimeters, they should pair off themselves and start breeding, and yeah, you'll have babies before you know it. Just like any other dwarf cichlid, they are egg layers and they will usually rear for their young. But yeah, I don't know about these fish specifically. I'm not a fish breeder, I'm a fish keeper. So there's a little story about Bomba Boy and how to care for others like himself. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Otherwise, have a great day, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.